Hey guys, we have round 2 of the Lake Superior Open. I have myself, Alex Russell, Ian Burchett, and Noah Meintsma here for commentary.
Let's go, Lake Superior Open.
Heck yeah.
One of my favorite events of the season for sure.
So much fun. We're out here at Superior Municipal Forest, and this course is so fun, really wooded, a lot of long shots too. It gets pretty windy out here. It's going to be quite a fun round to watch.
A lot of technical shots, makes you shape a lot of different lines throughout the whole course, and we have some ballers here on the lead card. Let's see.
The leaderboard's looking real tight after round 1.
In the lead, Ben Kroll. And then we have Leiviska, old Minnesota native. CJ King, let's go. I don't know if I've seen CJ play before, so this will be exciting. And the kid, Noah Meintsma.
Wow.
Always a pleasure to watch.
This will be fun.
Hole 1 starting us off. This is probably one of my favorite holes on the whole property. This hole is really gnarly. Little left to right moving tee shot to a second shot that goes down a canyon. Basket on the flat part of the upslope. Really demanding hole to start off the tournament round with. We got Ben Kroll lacing. I think this is one of his Prodigy F5s, I want to say. Really, really good.
That was a nice looking shot.
There. Smooth criminal there.
Yeah, Kale throwing an M4 to same spot. So controlled.
So good. You can see the gap there, and you just kind of want to either move slightly right or pretty much straight and then stop.
Yeah, the forehand really needs to flip up a lot, not really move too much right, but I love the forehand play on this hole. Off the tee.
Got Noah here. CJ's shot was looking pretty good until it caught that tree.
Yeah, I'm trying to rip on my flippy Hellfire that's really glidey over the last season, but definitely overburned at the start. Ooh, CJ kind of nervy the first hole, gets a bad bounce right away. I'm trying to get a little greedy here and still get to the basket on this low-driven forehand without fading away too much, but let it turn a little.
Real touchy shot from us there.
CJ has a chance here to save his par still, gets it down the canyon, but it's going to fade early.
KO with his second.
Yeah, pretty much the perfect drive. You can't draw it much up better than that off the tee.
For sure.
Leaving him the open straight shot to the bucket downhill.
Just checking it up there on the backstop.
Yep, pretty textbook. Ben's going to probably try the same play here, a little putter.
Gotta play a little more of a turnover into it than Kale did. Just played
well
it perfectly. Let it pan back out flat right at the bucket. You have a nice backstop, so it's one you just don't want to leave short. You want to make sure you get it there.
Yeah, I'm just forehanding everything so far. Never being in quite the position I'm looking for. TJ, for his par attempt, he's going to have to settle for early bogey. And then a bunch of tappers after that. Pretty common hole 1, couple birds, par, 1 bogue.
One you want to get to start, but you can get you in a little bit of trouble at the same time.
Hole 2 though, this one's a nasty one. There's a couple gaps. You can go a really tight backhand gap, or you can have a forehand that's a little bit more better to park it, but the backhand gives you a putt more often, I would say.
Definitely.
Getting squeaky here.
Yeah, Ben overturned it a little bit, but it gets through most of the Guardians.
Should have a look.
Kale's going to play this much more textbook to the left side, try to flip up to flat as much as you can and make a putt.
Not really trying to park it.
Really like that play.
Definitely.
Going the same disc as hole 1
Same
here.
disc, and it just doesn't quite flip enough for me this time, so pretty in between on the first couple forehands of the day.
CJ with a smooth looking backhand. Looks like it's pushing up there for a putt.
Yeah, that's quality.
Nice line, CJ.
30 to 40 feet.
I agree. Pretty much don't have much except for a layup, but
Well executed though.
hit the little gap.
Getting up and down, getting off the hole, getting your par.
Yeah, Ben actually hit a really tight gap there on the little putter approach.
That looked kind of gnarly over there.
Kind of surprised he didn't go wide at all.
Just barely missing right there for CJ.
Kayla here to get a stroke on the card, and
Good confidence
that's what
booster.
he does.
Wow, right between those trees it looked like?
I think it was on the edge maybe, but he could have been through it. Pretty good hole though, a little bonus one I would say to get, even though it's not very far, the angle's pretty tight to get to it.
Just like that, Kale's 2 for 2, off to a good start.
Yeah, pretty hot start. This hole I really like, hole 3. It bends dogleg to the left slightly, but a very narrow gap once you're playing the actual fairway. So it's not room for a lot of movement on the high, so you got to be on your line.
Nice.
That was pretty good by Kale. I like to hit this one with a little bit more height, but as long as you're moving left really hard around that guardian tree.
Speed control is pretty important on this one, yeah.
This one I'm going with my Quake here. I'm playing the height like A-Russ was talking about, but I just get the old branch in the way. So tiny.
I went in between
So
those
good.
2 branches.
Super big bummer there, but CJ really getting early on that one.
Yeah,
Cutting it real inside.
needing to get lucky there.
So I'm still pretty far away, and the back, by the green really kind of paces off behind it really easily to go long, and gonna happen to me there on the upshot.
Not one you want to leave yourself a tester for par.
Yeah, CJ really surprised me there too, going with the forehand there instead of playing the wide hyzer, which is
For sure.
gonna have a lot more opportunity to get up and down from that. But
Then goes the Anheuser touch putter shot for
Ben
next.
with the backstop behind it. Oh my god! Such a death play. He gave it such a good run, barely off the nubs.
With the
Sits.
drop behind it, gave it nice height coming soft.
Oh, I got so stabby on that putt, but it somehow got in.
Stabbed it in there.
It was a good up and down for your par save
A
though.
little scary for my first putt, really, to have.
CJ for 4, I believe.
Yeah, I think up 4. Kale's gonna get easy bird again. 3-2-3.
Baby.
Pretty amazing start.
Ideal start for sure.
Okay.
Just like that, they're tied up.
Yep. Battling. Hole 4. This one's a gnarly little flip-up shot. It's a tight gap to get out of the woods, and then once you get into the opening, it's really windy. So it's hard to just kind of keep that disc on the slight hyzer flip-up out of the gap without going early or late.
Definitely. This one you really don't want to kick right on. Right side is gnarly.
Yeah,
Catch something and
bogey.
go that way.
Bogeyville.
Looks like Kale went with the mid-range there. Good play.
Yep, we got another M4. This looks like a driver from Ben, but getting through the gap cleanly, you're going to have a putt.
Yep. Little left side, but through the gap, like Noah said, you get a putt.
I'm throwing my swirl rift here. A little flipped off, one little bounce.
Tapsky
Still
out there
sneaks
for
through.
birdie.
Give you a look.
Pretty stoked about that result.
For sure.
Ooh, CJ as well though. He flips late through the gap. It's gonna be probably the best shot.
That looked great.
Got some birdie putts
Close to
coming.
that inside tree, but ended up real well.
And this is the furthest out.
Yeah,
That's
30
no
feet,
bad.
just clean.
That was very clean.
See that again.
Yeah, Ben was putting so good this week. Just really holding his follow through and putting it up high. Sweet putt to start. We got Kale making another birdie. 2 putts in a row.
4.
Indy's 4 for 4 to start. You like it?
CJ for the star frame here. That's a really good one to get star frame on for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty windy out that gap. I was surprised for us to all get it. Hole 5. This is a classic disc golf shot. Up, down through a valley, up onto a flat. So many obstacles if you're off your line to kick. Kale's going to show us though how to avoid most of them. And one little bounce at the end is going to put him in the circle's edge.
It's one that can get you in trouble in a hurry if you don't have a good tee shot, but it's definitely a hole you'd like to get at the same time.
Yeah, no doubt. Not too far, being 318.
Well done.
Great shot.
I'm going back to my swirl rift here. So straight. I love these kind of throws with it.
It flips up and just goes on a beeline for you.
Yeah, it's so money. It's so predictable.
Good shot up
Control
there
is
in the
perfect
circle.
there as well.
Ooh, CJ really pulling this and getting the bad kick you're not looking for to the left. He's going to have some scrambling to do here.
Relying on that sidearm for the approaches.
For sure.
Stuck through the left side. He's going to have a circle 2 putt.
Kale to go
This would
5
be
for
the state
5.
mark.
Wow.
Just off the top. CJ to save his par.
Oh.
He's just a little off to start this round.
No doubt.
That's
No,
a good birdie to get things going for Noah.
dang near tapping that one in.
Yeah, I had a slow start. Didn't get 1, 2, or 3, but I got 4 and 5 now, so I'm slowly creeping back into a solid round. Hole 6, this one's a pretty gnarly one. There's so much OB the whole right side, so if you want to play to attack the green, you really have to just carry this out of bounds the whole time, bring it back late. But it's 450 feet, so it's all pro level hyzer push. Ben threw a good one there for sure. Really rode the wind nicely, especially having the box. I go a little too overstable, trying to play safe and not really test the OB. Not giving myself much of a chance to get to the basket though.
We had a pretty good crosswind, I'm pretty sure, when we were playing this hole. It made it quite a bit tougher. It's a different direction than when we placed in practice.
Yeah, you really didn't want to get over on it. It was going to hold it over, but once you kept on that hyzer, it kind of carried it over the bucket.
TJ gets this turned over a little bit. Got scary on him, but it's got some really late fade. And he's going to be in bounds and have a long putt.
That is scary. Once that shot starts turning, it's sketch.
Yeah, Ben sat here and lined this up for like a few minutes almost. It felt like there was just no gaps, and he tried to slide under the trees. Never really had a chance.
You know, we're trying to spin that one in.
Tried to get spinny with it, but the wind really pushed it down fast. It didn't have anywhere to go. Ben right after though just saves his monster 50
nasty.
And the wind was really going at that point.
Yeah.
It was a really dirty putt.
Baskets in the wide open, just
Especially when you're tied with Kale to jam a putt like that.
After
It's tight.
and then that's Kale's disc under the basket by my putter, so he really needed that putt. CJ just not really giving that one a chance. But yeah, Kale was super
park
parked.
job. Wow,
Didn't even have to take his putter out for that one.
it's a good one to not have to putt on.
No doubt. There's always some wind going on that bucket.
Yeah, this one's kind of weird. They have a lot of different lines you can play. There's a giant spike hyzer line, which when it gets really windy I don't really like to mess with, but there's also a left and right fairway that is very defined. So lots of options on this one. Ben as well is going big hyzer. This really surprised me. He flexes it more over the top, but gets it really to push pretty far and got most of the distance before slam back on hyzer.
And that's a good shot.
Yeah, probably 20 feet to bend there.
I'm going with a late flip forehand.
Going back to that Hellfire, it looks like.
Back to the Hellfire for sure.
I like that.
Really trust that.
Super
disc.
stoked with that release.
Great shot.
Pretty windy too in this point of the round. It's hard to see on the videos, but the putts and these lines were definitely a little more interesting with the conditions.
CJ was going with more of the left side slip up hyzer and was a little inside on it. Just kind of pinching up, trying to get his bar. And
Yeah, the wind is not
See
making
the
that.
branches there moving pretty good.
Ben here has a really crazy wind too. Throws it up so clean.
Yeah.
What a good putt.
Just putting a putting clinic on the
Putting the pressure on Kale to have to make his.
Kale just sends that one up in the wind and it doesn't let it drop. It's going to get a little roll too, making the tester coming back.
And that's a great dirty putt there.
Yeah, I got the headwind to hold that up slow. It felt really good. Knocked that one in.
Keeping yourself in the mix.
definitely see the wind on CJ's shirt there. That's a good cleanup for him.
Let's go.
Not an easy.
This is an important putt for Kale.
Go, the FedEx
Light
putt.
work.
Let's go.
Shout out FedEx.
Still making that tap in for 3. Hole 8. Here's where it gets pretty gnarly in the wind. This hole is far. There's a lot of wind, and there's some gnarly rough to find. It's going to be an interesting one.
It's a really fun par 5 to play. Starts off with more of a stock, big, distant shot, and then you gotta work shapes from there for sure.
You're pretty much just trying not to overturn it.
Yeah, you guys are
I grip locked that one pretty good, but I kept it on the hyzer at least, so I'm going to get away with it.
definitely.
You had the wind helping you out. As long as you didn't get over on it, should end up in a good spot to still get up and up the baby.
Big fairway to hit here, and then things get a little more tricky on the next landing zone, and then shoots into the gap.
Kale put the move on that one. He got way up there.
CJ gets this one turning the whole time. Super unfortunate result. It's going to be buried in the rough with a lot of distance to cover still.
Not one you want to miss the fairway on.
So this is
It's a pretty
him
big mistake. there.
pitching backwards, almost sideways.
It's like a forehand pitch out shot.
Ben really ripped this one over the top. The wind did not let it come out, and it just got buried in the rough again. So, a couple players finding trouble spots right away. It made me go big hyzer on this instead of playing a flip at all. But the hyzer sailed away on me a little bit too, even so. Things are getting a little rough on this hole for everyone so far.
Trying to get over those bushes there and land in the alleyway leading to the bucket.
Yeah, so that looks pretty ideal from CJ. That got the whole flight he was looking for, and he's going to be pretty good in the mouth of the gap. Kale's going to try to follow that line, and he hits it even better.
Wow. I was scared to turn that shot over a whole lot. I was trying to just play a hyzer more like Noah did.
Yeah, Ben actually wasn't as bad of a spot as I was thinking he was going to be after throwing it, but he still can't advance the disc super far on that shot. I'm going to throw my swirl rift on a little forehand. It's like the only thing I had from that angle. But it got through most of the stuff, and it was probably like 300 feet away, so pretty stoked with how much distance I got there.
CJ over on the right side, just playing for that.
Good on, man.
Pretty, pretty good shot.
Yeah, that was more the intended fairway. It's kind of hard to find yourself right, ideally, in the mouth, but both these players seem to have found themselves there.
Great shot by Kale there.
Mr. Ben needs to get this one up and down to save par. And pretty textbook forehand approach there.
That's ideal for sure.
You're probably like 40-ish feet away. It kind of drops off a little bit.
Definitely drops off. That's a scary putt from right there.
Got me thinking a little too much about it and just left her low. A couple tap-ins, and we're going to be on to the next one. Looks like only Kale's going to be picking up the birdie on this hole.
Hole 9's definitely a hole you want to birdie out here. Probably one of the easier ones on the course, honestly.
Yeah, the wind was still making it a little tricky, but I agree with Alex saying that it's one you really want to get. I was surprised to see this big hyzer play from Kale. He hasn't played here very much, and he just really can't get the distance with that kind of line.
Yeah, there was a weird crosswind, and yeah, knowing Kale, how well he throws those straight shots, it is pretty surprising to see him not just go straight for it.
Ben doing the same
thing.
thing.
Then Ben kind of just followed suit and did the same thing, and it's going to be nowhere near putting as well. I decided to just rip my rift really hard and flat here into the wind, and it gets a lot of late turn. It didn't push amazingly far, but I still have a putt. I'm stoked about that.
That was an excellent shot. Beautiful shot for sure, especially for mid-range.
CJ's going fairway driver, and it didn't quite commit to it. It's going to sail away on him a little left.
Fortunately, that's where you can get into some trouble back there. If you hyzer out too left, you kind of get caught up and make it tricky to get close to the basket for your par.
No doubt.
Ben chipping up and down there for a pretty easy 3.
Kale.
Way downtown. Whoa.
His spin putt and push putt, but spin putt is looking incredible this weekend.
That looks like CJ trying to make his way to the basket from back there.
Well, we're here for the lone deuce on the hole. That's
great.
Clean.
Yeah, I was so super stoked to get that one to drop.
Little pro side from just outside the circle, it looked like. Maybe 40-ish.
CJ cleaned up a full bar still. No damage done. A couple more tap-ins, and that'll be our front 9. Hole 10, I really like. They just did a change to this hole in the last few months and moved the basket back to this corner here, and it really makes it hard to access from where a good tee shot lands.
1000% agree.
This looks good.
Yeah, it's a pretty stock hyzer shot with a distance driver for most pros, but it really leaves it up to where you land, what kind of line you're going to have at it, because there's so many guardians in the way on this one.
For sure. Both these first 2 shots look good. You want to throw a bar,
good ground play.
skip.
As long as you got that pushing skip and not much of a flare to end up left.
And got a nice flip up. This might be a hair inside, but kind of the miss you're looking for almost.
Yeah, that was a good ride.
Puts you up into the gap.
All players throwing fairly well executed tee shots on this one.
For sure, those all 4 look pretty good. Look like they'll have a chance to get up and down.
Like we were saying, this upshot is just so tight to get all the way back to the basket. Ben doing a decent job there. He's still going to lead himself pretty short.
Yeah, that's... Oh.
CJ really got grippy with that one.
There.
Missed his line, but
For sure.
got through most of
Happy
it.
with that result.
Tried to go forehand rift again here, and it just sails a little bit left on me and hits one of the guardians late.
In an ideal position here,
Wow.
Kale.
Kale really
Such a
got
good spot.
played to a perfect spot to have the upshot lane. And
Looks like almost giving that a bid.
yep, textbook execution as well.
He looks happy with it.
Long look here for Noah, spinning it.
Probably like
Right.
70 in the wind, and it just had no want on that one.
Oh, just a little short right nub, and
Got
didn't let him
so
in.
windy there. It just
Oh, CJ ended up in a
couldn't
way
get it
better
to drop.
That's
Yeah,
great.
it's a nice bounce back for CJ. He's been struggling so far this round.
Yeah, that was actually his par save too.
Oh,
so
man.
Oh, okay,
but
that makes more sense.
it was dope for him to still get
Yes.
up and down because he wasn't in the ideal spot after three.
Gotcha. Looked like a pretty easy birdie for Kale there.
No doubt. Hole 5. This one is so gnarly. There's so many good parts of a disc golf hole that's on this. There's a straight tunnel,
Hole 11,
a
right?
lot of
The
wind.
par 5.
Yeah.
Hole 11.
Par 5, hole 11 here is one of my favorite holes on the course. You gotta throw this thing straight if you want any chance of getting the birdie.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna get a little kick out. I just sailed into the woods right at the end. Pretty unfortunate. Not gonna have anything too good from there.
It's gonna make a tough birdie.
Turn
That-
nice.
that is
This looks great.
So
from
much
Ben.
more ideal. And you can see Kale's drive that was missed right in front of him there. They both hit that perfect little mid-range flip up. CJ going with that fairway driver again, and
Got
just
over on that one.
really ripped it over. And luckily, didn't take too bad of a kick, but still gonna have to pitch either way. He does that pretty quickly.
If you're off the fairway on this hole, it's really tough to advance. You're almost always just pitching out.
So after a little pitch up, he throws a quality third, so he's gonna have a chance to save the par still, which is par is fire on this hole. I was
shot
thinking.
there.
Then kicking him out, but staying in the middle, so easy par in play still. Maybe get greedy for a birdie still.
Definitely not expecting to see too much out of Kale here. Looks like a mid-range.
Another mid looks pretty good.
Into a good spot.
This is after my drive. Try to go forehand rift here.
Yeah.
Hit the gap pretty
That'll
well.
work.
Can't
Covered some
complain.
ground. Got back to the middle. Gives you a chance at birdie.
Still go for my birdie, and I have a sideways grip lock, so that was pretty rad. Kicks me into the woods completely. Gonna be pretty hard to save a par now.
No doubt.
Ben trying a really big high hyzer,
hyzer.
trying to bring it back late to the basket, which there was a lot of distance there and wind. I was super surprised he tried that,
Wow.
but he's not going to come back out of the woods. It sadly clipped and just dropped him into the rough.
I remember there being some left to right wind on this one towards the green, so just didn't let him get left enough.
I would probably say this was the hardest hole of the day by scoring average, if I had to guess, in these conditions, and just the difficulty. I had to just go patent pending, little spinny approach just to get out on my fourth, so I'm not going to look like I have a look for a par at all, sadly.
We're finally here to Kale's third. Getting right in the way of the camera. Great
Textbook
shot
again,
there
though,
for
yeah.
birdie.
Have a neutral putter. Looked pretty nice.
Made that hole look way easier than it really
Noah's
is.
just trying to pitch up and down, get a 6, move on to the hole 12 here.
Still leaving it a little short with the wind, a
Yeah.
little tester range, but can't complain. Ben has to just pitch out here and
See how rough it gets over there. He
not
just-
get very far, even though he's only 100 feet from the basket.
Not what CJ's looking for there. Just a little off today.
Trying to save the
Oh.
par, and that was his least committed putt of the day, surprisingly.
For sure. He's been putting really well up until that.
I was stabbing another one in there.
Yeah,
Getting
Little-
away with the 6
little
though.
nervy.
Moving
Everyone's
on.
going to be a little upset after this hole, except for Kale.
Yeah, Kale's going to get another birdie, and we're going to see bogeys or worse from everyone else on the card.
This is the hole you definitely want to get out here. Nice little straight shot, 266. There's one gap to hit really, and if you don't hit that gap, it's usually not getting down there.
Yeah.
Good one to get some momentum back after that difficult last
Kale just
hole.
hits the
What an
perfect
ace
ace.
looking.
Perfect flip up at the
Wow.
basket, hits the lock and sits right by it. I'm going to try to throw the same line as my rift, and it gets a little pulled. Sneaking through the right side until the last
Oh,
tree.
that looked like it might have been running.
I know, it was
Didn't
crazy
hit
they got
anything.
through.
Ben a little early on this one.
Yeah, I did not commit to the line, and
Takes him back to a spot where a par should be pretty reasonable, though.
CJ's gonna follow him, but get the worst kick you could have there, leaving him almost nothing on the left side with how many trees are in his way.
The hole really
Still
only
finds a
gets
way.
tricky when you hit real early. Managing par should be pretty.
He's putt for par now. He missed Ben's approach, but knocks in his par at least. After the tree kick, still stayed pretty close, so
He did.
can't complain there. Gave that one a little more height too on the putt.
Good bounce back for you there. What a shot there by Kale, just dunking it again.
Yeah, he's on quite a tear right now. This is one of my new favorite holes at the course too, since they've done a switch up in the last year here. And it used to be a short little putter shot, and now we have this gnarly little tunnel you have to enter. So reading the wind through these two areas is really tough, probably the toughest feature of the hole.
Just barely missing the gap, Kale. Just trickling off to the left side. Shouldn't be too hard to get up and down. You might even still have a look, I'm not quite sure.
I'm going swirl rift again, and it's getting pretty lucky through the right side right now. I was pretty surprised. I think I'm going to be in the edge of circle 2 there.
The wind was pushing pretty hard from that gap on the left, I remember.
Yeah, I was playing difficult. There was not very many birdies on the day, if I remember that right.
Just a little left there again for Ben.
CJ getting the fairway driver looking good, and it just holds the flip. And a bad bounce again.
Kick
But
out to the other side. Hopefully someone's got a birdie putt here.
everyone's still taking stabs at it. And that looked really close from Ben, but still so difficult with the distance and a couple obstacles in the way. The green runs off a tiny bit too, so it's hard to be ultra aggressive. Oh man, Kale finally
That was
misses a
pretty
putt.
good. Yeah, you did squeak pretty far through that right side, and
yeah.
wow, what a putt there by Noah.
I was stoked
Yes.
about that, no doubt.
That's a
Sneaking
great
through the
birdie.
right side, disc almost fell out on the right side, and they both stayed.
Replay here of Noah's putt.
Full extension there.
Right side.
Little body English to make sure it
Kicked
sticks.
Definitely hyped about that one.
We got some cleanups here from the rest of the gang.
Noah takes one on the card, squeaking through the right side.
Hole 14, this is a one you definitely want to get on the track. It's pretty wide open, no OB. You just really want to get a lot of distance and have your drive moving right so you have a better angle at the basket the more right you are.
Had a pretty stiff headwind. Had like left to right. Just wasn't letting disc get a full flight out of it. Just knocking Noah's down there.
Just hold that now. That was more
This is great looking right
Yeah, a
here.
lot more overstable with disc. And fades a tiny bit early if you'd like, but he's got plenty enough to the right. He's going to have the gap still angle, no problem. And also getting his rolled over a little bit, but in a great
Should be
landing zone
manageable.
still.
Yeah, you'd like to make the error on the right side, if anything, for sure. Once you're in the tall grass on the left, it's really tough to get up and down.
It really cuts off that angle of
nice.
getting to the basket.
CJ ripped a nice forehand on this
Yeah.
hole. This one was impressive for sure. It was clean in the wind.
Beautiful. Didn't quite get the right action that he was hoping for, I think, but got some good distance and definitely has a decent chance at up and down.
So Ben ended up throwing that one a little inside, but he's going to have look a little opportunity for an upshot. Probably not too stoked about that shot. I'm going to just have a upshot with my steady here. Keeping it pretty straight and just having a little baby fade on it.
That's a great shot there.
CJ's going to try to follow me behind. He's just went too overstable of a disc and didn't really glide enough. It's not really quite a hyzer swooping shot as it is as a flip up.
Didn't
Definitely.
fully commit there. Kale cutting it very close to that
So
tree there.
close.
Sneaking
He
around though.
Barely missed that by like a half a foot or something. Sneaks into the circle. Again, putting for bird. CJ just kind of pitching up, pretty far away from there.
Ended up with a tricky little, trying to give that a bid, I assume.
Yeah, I think he was trying to give it a bit, just keep it close, and they got some weird ground action, but it's still right there.
A lot of roots and stuff around here. But
Kale just slams another one home.
On one. Another birdie for Kale. He's already got the lead.
Yeah, he's got a
Oh, Ben.
4 strokes on me, and now looks like going to be more on Ben after that par putt. So slipped away on him.
Clean up there for CJ, and that's.
Dang, yeah, Ben really
He's gonna want that one back.
got a little nervy on that green and ended up taking a double with a couple putts, short missed putts. But it happens. He's got a decent amount of birdies to back on in the round earlier, so it's not a nightmare. And now this is going to be probably the trickiest par 3 on the track. To get to this basket takes a really nice hyzer flip shot. I'm going to go with my sideways grip lock again that I've been having issues with this round.
And just looking at the hands, wondering what went wrong.
Something pretty bad in it. Kale's going to throw this a lot better. Gets a little too much.
A little too much, but got
Once
clean,
you get down
kept
there,
pushing.
you gotta look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not too. He's probably pretty stoked with that still. CJ throwing pretty clean shot on this too.
That was smooth. That was smooth.
It's one of the last Guardians, but
Kept pushing forward a little bit, looked like.
Ben trying to bounce back now after that tough hole and throws a good flip up on this, but it's gonna get too straight on him. Hit the Guardian as well.
Left a little too much.
Such a touchy shot with the distance and what the angle's like. Now I'm pretty far away, like 200 feet maybe, throwing my breaker, par on a flick, and just hoping to get through the gap, honestly.
Real scramble shot from there, it looked like.
Gives him a chance to save a par.
Oof. That was
Ben
clean.
still pitching up there for his par, almost dunking it, looks like.
Still giving him bids.
Kale, more spin putts.
And another one off the nub.
So close on those today.
The teaser for sure.
Craziness.
Like
Almost with the bonus birdie.
Oh, CJ
CJ
still
spinning it. Oh, and it just trickles down the backside a little bit.
Yeah.
What a scramble for
For
Noah there.
sure.
That was.
That was a really good up and down to save a par.
Oh,
CJ yanked that one a little right.
Definitely a nervy day on the putting greens for him. He definitely didn't get himself a ton of looks and then just wasn't connecting on most of them. A couple more tap ins and we're going to take, I think, all pars there. So pretty common result for that hole, I would say.
CJ, right? CJ
Oh, yeah.
three-putted.
Yeah, so besides that. But this hole is a sweet one. There's a little flick line or a little backhand line. So many Guardians.
I like this flick line myself. So there's like a little flex backhand, a straight backhand line.
Yeah, I just
Definitely.
smashed the tree there on the left and dropped down on the right. But Kale's going to throw the same line with the backhand.
Wow.
Just piers it. Never seen that line done.
I haven't either.
and
Makes it look easy.
there he is doing it again, where he's just trying to leave himself that 30-footer, 25-footer.
Yeah.
He's not trying to get himself underneath the basket because he's confident that he's going to make that putt.
And a little off there, but
This was a great line from CJ. I remember this.
Oh, giving
So
it a good run,
close.
just barely hitting that last one.
Still staying close after the ace run. I'm
on
pretty
the
far
right
away
side
still.
here, really scrambling again.
And hit the Guardian. It's going to be another
Now
long
he's-
par putt.
With the slope behind, it's not the putt you're looking for. Man, good
Man,
effort there by
just
Ben.
off.
Yeah, he's had so many putts off the nubs. I'm still probably 40 feet here for par.
Great save.
Cleaning them up.
Yeah,
Very
man,
good
A lot
save
of
there.
putts to stick in this back nine. I'm pretty thrilled about.
And just pitching it right in there for another birdie.
Another birdie
Ian
for
was
Kale.
saying, if you can trust your putt, just play to those 30-footers sometimes, it makes it a whole lot easier.
Yeah, CJ really just had a
CJ
sticky
will.
putt on that one. He's going to sadly get a par again. Oh well. 17 though, this is a sweet little flip up forehand shot that you barely want to baby fade, but it's so easy to go long or short into these little Guardian trees. Kale actually plays a backhand in between these little Guardian trees, kind of getting lucky and a little sneaky in there.
Kind of like this play, honestly. I feel like you always have a putt with it almost, whether it's 30 feet or parked 40 feet. But
This I was so stoked.
So he goes
It's
Quake again
Exactly
there
where
for
I
you.
wanted. The Quake came out so clean there, exactly where I wanted.
Real good.
Ben's gonna try to flick two. I think this is the 8-3 or 2
Looks
he
like
goes.
he's trying to go that inside line.
Yeah, I just didn't quite commit to the flick. CJ's gonna throw in a flick for us too here. And this one hits pretty good. It's a little sharp on hyzer, but he can have a putt.
Gets that flare. It's gonna be over there.
maybe a hair inside if they get clean sometimes.
And again,
Very solid bid.
barely missing it. Oh, Kale. Barely missing it again.
Looks
He's
like
going to roll all the way out to the edge of
wow.
the circle.
No way.
and then misses that
Oh,
one.
no, this is not a hole you wanted, a bogey.
Right.
After such an amazing round he had going.
Pretty wild. CJ.
CJ spinning another one off the
Needs to
chain.
be off a little bit for CJ.
I was parked there, so I was stoked to not have to putt after all these putts going down. And then he sneaks that in for bogey. Such a crazy hole for him. It has been just a textbook day to have something so miscues on the short hole.
He's been playing so well, you know he's not too thrilled with how that hole went down.
But we got our last hole, 18. This is a pretty stock flip up straight shot, 370. It's really easy to flip over to the tree line right though, so I'm kind of throwing stiff hyzer on my release there.
Is that the bonsai for you?
Yeah, that one is my Pro Line Bonsai. It's like close to a Thunderbird-esque disc, so it fights wind really nice. Ben's going with one of his fairway drivers, I believe, here, and getting good result as well. CJ making the mistake you really don't want, which is leaking over on the right side. It makes your upshot angle a lot harder, but at least he didn't penetrate too far in the tree, so he can have a chance. Kale's going, I think, M4 here, which is a lot of trust and pretty
Nasty.
Really,
You gotta get on him mid range.
pretty stiff headwind on this hole through that tunnel there.
That looked great though.
Very good line.
Gonna need a good scramble shot here. Try and get done with this round.
Yeah, he's had a stressful round. He's going to leave himself another small tester putt for his par. I really did not give that any effort at all. I don't know what was going on there, but at least I'm parked and walking off this course here soon.
Great putt
Ben
finish from
finishes
Ben.
it off.
The
Nasty 40-foot header
solid
putt.
round overall. It's not maybe what he was looking for, but
Yeah, he had so many highlights. Just one bad hole,
Hell of a
really.
way to
And
finish
a
it,
couple
though.
putts that didn't stick, but yeah, what a great way to finish.
showing everybody why he was there.
Kale's pretty much parked on this last putt. Gonna shoot. Ridiculously hot round. I think the course record as well. Oh, and CJ's last one really just
Just couldn't
quite a rough
get
day
done
for
with the
him.
round without one more of those. Just
Thank you guys for watching.
Happy to be done there.
Yeah, it was stressful wind. It's always fun playing out here at this course, but it was quite a day with the conditions. But Kale, yeah, like you were saying, course record 50, 11 down.
63.
Nasty. I'm gonna drop to third for my time, or I'm staying in third. Ben's moving down to 7th, and CJ's moving down to 22nd. So definitely quite an upsetting day, but you still got another round to finish strong in this event here.
we see Griffin Bainter moving on to the top card, and Andrew Brown also moving on to the top card for the last round.
Yeah, 10
Noah's
down,
laying on
8
there.
down. Those are super solid rounds at this track.
There's Alex Russell right behind him.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the second round for the LSO. We'll catch you guys for the